Jigawa tanker blast, death toll climbs 167. Obi slams Tinubu for extended leave, sending Shatima to Sweden. Binance executive Gambaran trial pushed to October 25. On the international scene, Ruto taps Interior Minister Kindiki as deputy. Hello there and welcome to the news update on Trust Television. My name is Sagir Ibrahim. And now the news in details. A total of 167 persons have so far lost their lives following Tuesday's fuel tanker explosion in Majia town in the Tora local government area of Jigawa State. The Jigawa State Governor, Umar Namadi, made the disclosure when the Kano State Governor, Abba Kabir Yusuf, paid him a condolence visit at the government house, Duse, on Thursday evening. He disclosed that no fewer than 67 people are currently receiving treatment at various medical facilities within and outside the state. The governor expressed deep gratitude on behalf of the people of Jigawa State and thanked Kano State for its generous support during this difficult time. He assured that the 100 million naira donated by the Kano State government would be judiciously used to aid the victims of the unfortunate incident and their families. And meanwhile, the Kano State government has donated 100 million naira to assist victims of the recent fire disaster in Majia, Taura local government area of Jigawa State. Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf announced the donation via his spokesperson during a condolence visit to Governor Umar Namadi at the government house in Duse on Thursday. In a statement issued by the governor's spokesperson Sanusi Bature Dawakin Tofa, Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf emphasized that the donation was meant to provide relief to the families of those who lost their lives and to support the treatment of those injured in the fire. He highlighted the strong historical and cultural ties between Kano and Jigawa State, underscoring Kano's solidarity with its neighbors during this time of grief. The governor also extended his heartfelt condolences to the bereaved families and those recovering from injuries, offering prayers for the Almighty to prevent future tragedies of this nature. In his response, Governor Umar Namadi expressed deep gratitude on behalf of the people of Jigawa State, thanking Kano State for its generous support during such difficult time. Meanwhile, there was a fire outbreak at the Federal Ministry of Works headquarters in Mabushi, Abuja. The incident, which occurred soon after workers resumed work on Friday, was attributed to a spark from a faulty circuit breaker on the ground floor. It was, however, quickly contained before much damage was done. Director of Press and Public Relations of the ministry, Mohammed Ahmed, while confirming the incident, said a minor fire incident occurred at 11:30 a.m. at Block A of the ministry. He said Station Commander, Federal Fire Service, Federal Ministry of Works headquarters responded quickly to put the situation under control by deploying available fire extinguishers. He added that a successful evacuation exercise of staff was also carried out. Meanwhile, presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 presidential election, Peter Obi, has criticized President Bola Tinubu for sending Vice President Kashim Shettima to represent him in Sweden. In a series of tweets on Friday, Obi carpeted the president for not proceeding to Sweden from France, lamenting the resources spent in having Shettima fly down there from Abuja. Peter Obi said the untold hardship that has been unleashed on the people as a result of some of his administration's policies is unimaginable, and the people need his urgent attention to pilot the nation out of this present situation. President Tinubu had left the country on October 2nd for a 2-week leave to the UK. It was later announced that he had moved to France. And also the Kaduna State Security Council has restricted movement throughout the state from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. for the local government election slated for Saturday, October 19, 2024. This is to ensure peaceful, orderly conduct of the elections. According to a statement by the State Overseeing Commissioner of Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruan, vehicular movement as well as commercial and other related activities which may constitute impediments to law and order are to cease within the period of the restriction. It said that only persons performing essential duties are exempted from the restriction and may move during the period with proper identification and clearance. The statement therefore advised residents to refrain from activities and actions that could disrupt public peace. It also enjoined members of the general public to promptly report any observed acts which threaten law and order to security agencies and not to take laws into their hands. And meanwhile, Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal High Court in Abuja has set October 25 for an update on the health condition of detained Binance executive Tigran Gambaran following his absence at his scheduled trial continuation. Gambaran is facing $35.4 million in money laundering charges brought against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. At the resumption of proceedings on Friday, Gambaran was not present in court, and both the defense and prosecution teams were unaware of the reason for his absence. Justice Nwite stood down the court briefly to allow the parties to investigate why the second defendant had not appeared. Upon resuming, Justice Nwite indicated his readiness to proceed with the trial, which was scheduled for the continuation of cross-examination. The prosecution counsel, Ihenacho, informed the court that Gambaran was receiving treatment at a hospital and that the correctional center would provide more details. And elsewhere, students at the College of Health Sciences and Technology in Jega, Kebbi State, have set the residence of the provost, Haruna Saidu Sawa, over an allegation of extortion. His house was set on fire and his vehicle vandalized during the violent protest. The protest erupted over allegations that the college management extorted 23 million naira from the students regarding index registration for 250 graduating students. Reports said the controversy originated from a newly introduced public health program, which was initially affiliated with the Reproductive Health and the Public Health Association of Nigeria. The college was said to have merged the program with the Department of Health to secure certification, leading to a demand for an additional 65,000 naira from each student for index registration in addition to the 30,000 naira already paid. Accusing the management of extortion, the students responded violently by stoning vehicles and setting the provost's residence on fire. And to security matters, the police in Kano State have arrested 31-year-old Salisu Bala, who has been extorting and terrorizing the public under the guise of a police officer. A statement by the Kano State Police spokesperson, SP Abdullahi Haruna Kiyawa, on Thursday said the fake policeman is a resident of Kurna Quarters within Kano Metropolis. He was trailed and arrested by members of Police Special Constabulary at Koki Quarters, Kano, where he was sighted wearing a black uniform with a camouflage peak cap. He was said to have defrauded unsuspecting members of the public, destroying the image of the force. Also, operatives of the Kano State Hisbah Command have arrested a serving commissioner in Jigawa State Cabinet for allegedly committing adultery with a married woman. The commissioner was caught after an intense surveillance following complaints lodged by the mother of two's husband before the command and other security outfits. According to Hisbah official who asked not to be mentioned, he said the husband, Nasir Bulama, told them that he is suspecting the commissioner of having an affair with his wife. He added that the commissioner had confessed to have had an affair with the woman at least 3 times. He therefore said the command will, upon completion of investigation, charge them to court. And the Nigerian police force said it flagged off a total of 612 hijacked and missing vehicles across the country within the last month. A statement by the force public relations officer ACP Muyiwa Adejobi said the vehicles were seized following the deployment of the electronic central motor registry. He added that the Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun has ordered an immediate investigation to dismantle the syndicate responsible for these vehicle hijackings. Addressing a news conference in Abuja, Adejobi said the first batch of 7 stolen vehicles reported through the ECMR platform was flagged for investigation, with 3 of them already recovered. And in Nasarawa State, the command of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has arrested 4 suspects over alleged kidnapping, raping and cable vandalization. The public relations officer of the command, Jerry Victor, made this known while parading the suspects in Lafia, the Nasarawa State capital. Correspondent Abubakar Abdullahi brings details.
Leading the suspects before newsmen, the command public relations officer, Jerry Victor, said following a sting operation, a well-known kidnapper kingpin, popularly known as Shege, was arrested on 8 October in his hideout in Wama local government area. He said Shide and his accomplice, Mohammed Lawa, are the brains behind several adoptions in Nasarawa, Egon, Akwanga, and Wamba local government area of the state, and Shendam, Kwagwi areas of Plateau State. The PRO also said the command arrested the serial rapist Ali Yakubu for defiling an 8-year-old girl in Bakan City, as well as 2 suspects in Shabu in connection with the vandalism of high-tension poles in Lafia.
We also have Muhammad Nduma Shehu and Kabiru Idris, who specialize in vandalizing electrical cables and poles within Nasarawa State here. They were caught in the act, and of course we have some of the exhibits that is there. I'm going to show you. Of course, they also admit to the crime, and they will also be going to be charged to court for possible prosecution.
The NSCDC PRO said the suspects were caught in the act and stolen items recovered from them, maintaining that the suspects will be charged to court after investigations. Commander of the State's Command, Mohammed Kabir Uwanga, reiterated the command reserved to fish out criminals to ensure crime-free Nasarawa State.
Security agency, more especially in civil defense, we are doing everything possible to make sure that those that are here for legal businesses do it without any hitches. And anybody that comes here with an ultra mind, so you should get ready for us, because we won't allow them to do anything. We will be after them, more especially the vandals and those that are terrorizing people, like kidnappers are people. We are equal to that, their attacks, because our men are well trained for that.
He urged the public to be proactive in reporting criminals and their activities across the state in order to tackle their bad intentions.
You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Coming up shortly. House of Representatives resolved to accelerate passage of bill for independent candidacy. This and more after the break. Join us again. Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is the news update on Trust Television. Now, recap of our top stories again. Jigawa tanker blast, death toll climbs to 167. Obi slams Tinubu for extended leave, sending Chetima to Sweden. And to more stories now, the Anambra State government has commenced the immediate evacuation of those living in riverine areas due to a rapid rise in water levels in the Niger and Benue rivers over the past few days. The Executive Secretary of the State Emergency Management Agency, Paul Odenigbo, disclosed this while speaking with journalists in Awka, the Anambra State capital. On Thursday, the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency issued a fresh alert, urging communities along coastal lines to relocate without further delay. Odenigbo stated that as an emergency response agency, the state government has provided the necessary support to relocate people to safer areas and mitigate the worsening impacts of the floods as rainfall persists. He noted that in some local governments, plans have been finalized to use boats to evacuate over 3,000 inhabitants willing to move to higher ground. And back here in the nation's capital, the Federal Capital Territory, through its Public Health Department, has activated the Cholera Emergency Operations Center as part of surveillance and preparedness measures to handle any cholera outbreak in the FCT. Speaking while activating the Cholera Emergency Operations Center over the weekend, the Permanent Secretary of the FCT Health Services and Environment Secretariat, Ghana Adam, said the activation became necessary in light of the number of reported cholera cases across the 36 states. He noted that as an emergent city, the FCT is at risk of cholera and is taking proactive steps to prevent and contain the spread of the disease. Adam also assured that the Secretariat would spare no resources or efforts to prevent a cholera outbreak in the FCT. He directed that all relevant stakeholders be involved to develop effective, reliable strategies to prevent the disease. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has resolved to accelerate the consideration of a bill on the introduction of independent candidacy by referring it to the Special Ad Hoc Committee on Constitution Review. The private member bill was sponsored by Chairman House Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Akin Rotimi. Here's details.
Rotimi, while addressing House of Representatives press corps in Abuja, said the crucial legislation, which is a legacy bill from the previous assembly, was reintroduced for consideration following its first reading on Thursday, September 26, 2024. According to him, the bill proposes that for any citizen to contest the presidential election as an independent candidate, they must obtain the verified signature of at least 20% of registered voters from each of the 36 states.
We've had our seventh electoral cycle since the Fourth Republic, commencement of Fourth Republic in 1999. And as we approach the eighth cycle, it's important for us to start to look at in what ways we can improve the electoral process, in what ways we can look at our democracy and seek ways to deepen inclusion.
The founder and chief executive officer of Electa, Ibijoke Faborode, said the recommittal of the bill is a progressive milestone. She added that the bill will significantly shape the future of the country's democracy if the bill is passed into law. She expressed enthusiasm at seeing the National Assembly unite in support of the bill, underscoring their dedication to a legislative agenda that promotes inclusivity.
The media, as the conscience of society, will be quite instrumental in helping the public interpret the provisions of the bill to ensure that people do not misconstrue the provision. And as I mentioned, it's such a pivotal piece of legislation that will further enhance, and advance our democracy. So we're counting, on the media, as we said, as the soul of society, to help us, publicize this, ensure that, the citizens understand the bill and the citizens also see it as the citizens' bill.
Former President Muhammadu Buhari declined assent to the bill when it was passed during the 9th Assembly.
And on the international scene, Kenyan President William Ruto on Friday nominated his Interior Minister as deputy to replace Rigathi Gachagua, who was sacked in a historic impeachment. Kithure Kindiki, a 52-year-old academic turned political heavyweight, was among front-runners for the post floated by Kenyan media after the Senate voted to remove Gachagua late Thursday after a day of high drama. The impeachment of Ruto's 2022 election running mate Gachagua had transfixed the East African country, generally regarded as a stable democracy in the turbulent region. The fast-moving drama continued apace on Friday as National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula announced Ruto's choice of Kindiki, asking parliamentarians to move ahead with the vote to confirm the appointment. Apologies for that. I take the story now. The federal government says it will implement the cashless tolling system for the Abuja-Kefi Expressway. The Minister of Interior, Senator David Umahi, disclosed this on Thursday while inaugurating a committee for the project, as well as the dualization of the Kefi-Akwanga-Makudi Road. He said the cashless tolling system was a strategic program under the Highway Development and Management Initiative aimed at promoting a strong and sustainable transportation ecosystem. The minister commended President Tinubu for the vast strategic economic recovery initiatives of the Renewed Hope administration and expressed hope that the committee will leverage on ideals of the terms of reference handed to them to develop a robust implementation master plan. He charged the committee with the terms of reference, which among other things are to develop the cashless tolling system implementation framework, make appropriate recommendations on the potential of relief stations and good physical environment along the corridors, and proffer practical solutions to the challenges of implementing cashless toll collection in the Nigerian environment. And to sports now. Rivers United defeated Shooting Stars Sports Club of Ibadan 2-0 to climb top of the 2024-2025 Nigeria Premier Football League table with 17 points. Anikeme Okon Ndifreke Effiong scored the 2 goals in the second half to help the former champions rise to the summit of the league table. In Jos, Plateau United beat Remo Stars 3-1 with early goal from Franklin Ebuka in the 4th minute before completing a brace in the 71st minute. Resurgent Ikorodu City picked a point on the road after a hard-fought 1-1 draw at the Heartland FC Chukuma Agos 66-minute goal cancelled out Salau Yusuf early goal for the Lagos club. Katsina United piped drowning Aqua United 1-0 to claim all 3 points at home in a matchday 7 fixtures. Rivers United are topping the table with 17 points, closely followed by Remo Stars, who have garnered 15 points. And after a horrible experience in Libya, Nigeria Super Eagles defender Shemi Ajayi has resumed training with the English Championship side West Bromwich Albion. Ajayi, alongside his national teammates, were held hostage at the Al Abak Airport in Libya for more than 15 hours. They returned to Nigeria on Tuesday, and Ajayi departed for England on Wednesday morning. He resumed training with the rest of his club mates on Thursday afternoon ahead of the weekend's game. West Brom will aim to return to winning ways when they face Oxford United on Saturday. And that wraps up the news update at this hour. Do not forget to follow us across all of our social platforms and catch our live stream on YouTube for more news programs and also documentaries. My name is Sagir Ibrahim. Thanks for watching. Join us again.